The new Assassin's Creed review is here, but how well does this segment of the game do compared to the others? Let's find out. What's up guys, Canadian Guy here, and back with a review of Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I'd like to give a huge shout out and a thank you to Ubisoft Canada for being amazing and allowing me to get my hands on an early review copy of this game. As usual, no major spoilers will be said in this video. So, let's jump right into this review. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, or as I like to call it, Spartan Kick Simulator 3000, takes place around 350 to 450 BC, where you get to play as either Alexios or Cassandra, a Spartan who was, we will say has a troubled past and finds himself on an island called Kefalonia, where they are raised by a cheapskate hack named Marcos. They become a mercenary and live their life going job to job, mostly for Marcos's jobs. Suddenly, a contract brings our hero away from the island and brings them back to the main lands. But our hero discovers a secret plot that is related to them and their past that they must face. The story of Assassin's Creed Odyssey is nice and refreshing for the franchise. Right from the start, I like the direction that they decided to take with allowing the player to choose the gender of the main character. It does adjust the main story in terms of dialogue due to the gender, but overall, the story stays basically exactly the same. But there is something that carries out through the whole game, and that is choice. No longer is it following the exact story of an assassin, but the game's dialogue choices can determine how a situation will turn out, and each choice can adjust how the whole game will play out. Some of these choices may seem really small at first, but have such a massive amount of consequences later in the game. Sometimes the game will test to see if you're paying attention within the story and will give you a timer to start out a situation through dialogue within a certain amount of time. So make sure that you use your wits because this game calls for it. Now, you meet quite a few characters along the way that you begin to like, and while of course those you begin to hate, giving the game a diverse cast of heroes and villains. The story overall is, like I said, refreshing for the franchise. However, in terms of story, I feel as though sometimes the essence of Assassin's Creed is missing in it for long periods of time. The game tries to be so original and stand out from the others in terms of story that at times you forget you're actually playing an Assassin's Creed game. Now, this may be good for others or bad, depending on how you look at it. Now, there is one thing I have to mention. This game is long. This is not a game you can simply bust out in a weekend. It's definitely a 30+ hour game, not including all the side missions. The map is quite big with lots to discover and explore. The combat, however, does feel like an Assassin's Creed game. Now, you might be wondering, why did I call the game Spartan Kick Simulator 3000? Well, remember the movie 300? Remember the most iconic part of the whole film?
Madness. This is Sparta!
Wait, rewind. This right here is in the game. The ability is literally a Spartan kick, and you can kick just about anything, off cliffs, into walls, and even into the ocean for them to meet your toothy friend Bruce. You don't actually get a pet shark, though that would be awesome! But hey, there's more. You can kick your enemies, but you can also kick innocent people. Want to get a direct crawl from PETA? You can do that by Spartan kicking dogs, wolves, bears, and even lions. Heck, even Pumbaa has nothing on you. The combat in this game is definitely different from the other games, but still feels like an Assassin's Creed game. It took me a while to get used to it, but got the hang of it after a few hours. The game sports a radio wheel for your abilities that reminded me of the Dragon Age series, and allows you to slot different abilities to different wheels through a skill tree. In the skill tree, you have the ability upgrades for 3 different types of combat: Assassin, Warrior, and Ranged. This ranges to active abilities to basic upgrades and passives. You have the selection of different types of weapons, from really fast daggers to slow but devastatingly heavy and blunt weapons. The weapon selection is nice, however it's missing my favorite setup, a sword and shield, which I feel is a big missed opportunity because the main character being a Spartan. They are well known for having their crazy sized shields, but that's more of a personal issue. The side missions and activities are also a lot of fun. The boating from Assassin's Creed Black Flag has been brought back for exploration and sea battles, however it's not quite as central like Black Flag. You don't sport as many upgrades, obviously due to the lack of technology at the time, but you can upgrade your ship's weapons, hull, and even crew. The one thing I must say though is that the wave physics in this game are phenomenal. Your boat rides the waves and you can feel every dip and rise, especially when it's storming. Along with the comeback of familiar features, there's a new system called Conflict Battles. Basically, each region has a faction ruling over it, Sparta or Athens. There's no really good or bad guy in this scenario. In each region, there are areas which you can reduce the influence of the faction that is ruling to weaken them. Once they are weak enough, you can enter an all-out battle between Sparta and Athens. If you succeed, you are given awards, experience, and the region is taken over by the opposing party. However, you are a mercenary and have no political ties to either side. You can reduce the influence in the same area again and help the other side take back the region. It's up to you. The game supports some of the best cinematic pieces in Assassin's Creed history, with scenes that are huge and epic to solemn and emotional. The game overall is more challenging than its other predecessors, but sometimes not for the right reasons. Here's where we get to one of my massive issues with the game: the bounty hunter system. If you commit a crime and someone sees you, your bounty hunter bar increases in size. When it meets the first marker, a bounty hunter will be sent to try and collect the bounty that is on your head. You can pay off your bounty to get them off your trail, kill the bounty hunter, or kill the person that put the bounty on your head to begin with. Seems straightforward, right? So what's my problem with it? Well, the fact is that you'll be in the middle of an intense scene about to fight a boss of some sort that is integral to the plot and story, and in the middle of the fight, the bounty hunter just shows up out of nowhere and tries to kill you. Now, these bounty hunters are not easy and are like bosses on their own. So suddenly, you have two people fighting you, and it's really annoying. Also, if you die and respawn, they also go back to the area where they were when you last saved. So if you're going to fight the boss again, they will likely show up again. I had one encounter where the game actually kind of screwed up because of this situation. See, I was in a fight in a closed off area that was a part of the main story. The game's code would not allow anybody past because it was a one-on-one fight. However, a bounty hunter showed up and started chucking spears from a distance because they could not join the fight. After I beat my enemy, I had to talk to them, but it would not allow me unless I was out of combat. The bounty hunter chucking spears at me was keeping me in combat, so I had to pull out my bow, turn to him, and fire 20 or so arrows into his head repeatedly as he stood there doing nothing until he died. I was out of combat, then I could talk to the character I just defeated. It was very anticlimactic and annoying. Sometimes you will have a conversation, accept the quest, and right when you leave the conversation, the bounty hunter is literally 3 inches behind you and sniffing your hair. This happened on multiple occasions. But this was my only major gripe about the game. The story is fresh, the gameplay is smooth for the most part, and brings a bunch of new and fresh ideas to the Assassin's Creed universe. My overall score is an 8 out of 10. You can pick up Assassin's Creed Odyssey on October 5th, 2018. Anyway guys, thanks so much for watching. Cue the extra.